Hi Aries, and welcome to your April 2019 general reading. So happy birthday Aries. Month of April, one of my favourite months of the year. Actually, it is my favourite month of the year. So I'm going to pull you an additional guidance card before I shuffle the rest of the deck. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so 2 cards came up for you, the Fates and Between Worlds. So the Fates is the Serenity Prayer. So the Serenity Prayer is, I can't remember the exact words, okay? But the courage to change what you can, the ability to accept what you cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two of them. We can't change other people. To even begin to is to break spiritual code. Other people's destinies are their own. We can only ever change ourselves. Yeah? Between Worlds I love, because Between Worlds is moving from a grey world into a world full of multicolour, creativity, yeah, and joy and pleasure because of the colour orange. But some of you might feel this month that you're in some sort of transition then, because the Between Worlds can be a very transitory card, that you're moving from one chapter into another chapter. So very, very interesting combination of cards. So I'm going to do just a general look at the month of April. I post every Thursday. I do weekly readings and I do monthly readings, Aries. And if you subscribe, you get a little bell. And if you want a private reading with me, my email is in the About section. So tell me what's going on for the month of April, please. King of Cups behind you with the 5 of Wands, okay? So 5 of Wands is head and heart going in different directions. I don't dislike the 5 of Wands because it creates a little bit of tension in order to move us forward. Okay, I don't get the 5 of Wands as a card about outer conflict. I get it as an inner state of restlessness, and maybe that's what the in-between card means. Let me just carry on. 4 of Swords, 7 of Cups, and the 8 of Wands. Relationships, you've got Temperance showing up. Could be a Sagittarius, guys, but I don't tend, no one owns the cards. Money and work, you've got another 7. The Emperor, you've got your own card, a soul position. Very exciting when your own card shows up in a soul position, guys, because imagine the soul as the driver. Yeah, what drives everything, because it does. You've got your own element driving your soul forward this month. So whatever confusion you're meeting, because you are meeting some confusion, guys, and a little bit of head and heart going in separate directions, the trick is to be the master of your own ship. And you might have to go through some fog this month. Okay, and the reason I'm reading that is you've got your own power directing your own ship. Very, very powerful when it happens. Now what's behind you is this King of Cups. So this could be you, it could be someone else. If it's you, I love it. I love the King of Cups because he's sitting on this ocean, yeah? And he is not even flicking his hair. He is the king of cool. And you only get to be that way, Aries, if you've got this tremendous emotional serenity. And it's almost like not getting pulled in to the drama that's going on around you. And that's what the Emperor is saying at your soul position. Because there is some drama around you, or even within you, but you're still managing to keep this really powerful centre. Because the 5 of Wands is this card, to me, something's cooking in the oven, by the way. And it's creating a little bit of stress and tension. It might come across as not quite sure which road to go down, not quite sure which impulse to follow, but everything is about intention. And if you set your intention, it's like setting that, is it the driver of the car to go in a certain direction. That's exactly where your soul's going to take you. But I think for some Aries there might be a little bit of confusion around the direction. What you most want is a Four of Swords, which means you're really tired, guys, okay? Because when the Four of Swords comes, it's what someone wants. It means you want rest and probably some solitude. Because I always think in one of my decks, she is going into a temple. So she's going into a temple in order to meditate and receive messages. And it's not about, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It's almost a choice to have a little bit of peace and relaxation. Now your supportive card is the Seven of Cups, which is almost like if you're setting the course of your destiny at soul position, it's like you're going to go through some foggy times, but the fog is not a punishment, because we all need to go through it in order to get to clarity. You're just going to have to keep your eyes on your destination. Everything follows the power of intention. Intention is almost a soul code. And if the Seven of Cups is your gift and you're not 100% certain of that destination, you go into the Four of Swords and you wait quietly until the message comes through. Okay? So if you think about it, it's things like hurry and haste that creates chaos in our lives. If we're confused as the gift, always go a step backwards and go into retreat in order to receive the guidance that you need in order to move forward. Okay? Because I can't help getting a feeling there's a little bit of confusion, Aries, okay? But it's only the minor arcanas. At a deeper level, your soul knows what it wants. The Eight of Wands is the challenge. Some of you might be going on a journey. The Eight of Wands is about communication. It's very powerful, focused energy, the Eight of Wands. You might be having to put a lot of energy out there. And what you most want is the Four of Swords. So you can see that's already a little bit of a challenge. So you want to rest, you want to receive messages because of a little bit of confusion. But the Eight of Wands is going, oh my gosh, I've got to go and do this. So I'm getting a little bit of a feeling here of, I get the same feeling, Aries. Some of you might need to take that one step backwards to get what I call the sacred pause. And it's not what I call, it's a Buddhist thing. So the sacred pause is, okay, I've gone into foggy territory here. I need to take a step back to regain my clarity and regain my sight. It's such a gift, that sacred pause. It's saved my life many times. Temperance, and actually the times when I've not used it is when I've caused most of the trouble in my life. Temperance in your relationships might be a Sagittarius, or you're still very, very much in that extremely... I mean, look at the Temperance. She's floating on water. She just comes after the Death card. So there's something quite vulnerable about the Temperance card. But when we're in that vulnerability, it means we're not all armoured up. Our armour is basically our karma, by the way. It's experiences that we've had that armour us from life. And things like yoga and meditation are all about undoing that armour. The Temperance card says that you're really allowing yourself to be very, very beautiful, very, very open. And it's in times like this that we go through massive transformation. It's called spiritualizing your emotions, by the way, which means you're guided from within. Your head and heart have gone into this very deep connection. And it's now part of what guides you forward. You might feel a little bit vulnerable, Aries, this month. For some reason in your relationships, if you remember, vulnerability is life. And when something's too armoured, it's because there's a lot of unresolved issues there. Turning up being vulnerable is when life takes the most sweetest form. Very beautiful, by the way. Money and work, you've got the Seven of Pentacles under the Seven of Cups. So there might be a little bit of confusion. The Seven of Pentacles is in no way a bad card around money, by the way. In fact, if you look at it, there's a lot of work been done here. But she's taking her time, she's taking the sacred pause before she moves forward. Sometimes it does show up when things are a bit slow, but if we begin to see the universe as this living organism, so everything happens for us, then we begin to see, oh, if I'm slow in my work and business, it's because my energy needs to be going elsewhere. And then we follow that. Then there's no drama in our lives anymore. And when we go into fear, we work to resolve that fear. The Emperor at a soul position, very, very powerful here. What's going on at a soul position for Aries? And give me a minute, guys, just to shuffle the cards. Why is the Emperor showing up at a soul position? It's like, woo! Yeah, the moon's here. These are almost completely different energies because the moon is that deep unconscious part of us and the Emperor is that totally conscious part of us. It's almost like you're working with two very, very different energies this month, Aries. And that's sort of what I'm feeling because there's definitely a lot of moon energy, look. Being in the sevens, being in the... not confusion, but not totally certain. But then there's also this energy about being in charge. And you're going to have to learn to juggle both. And I just realised that's what the additional guidance cards meant. The Fates is a Serenity Prayer, which is these cards. But Between Worlds is also about where am I going? Where do I want to put my precious, precious energy into? Because what we give our energy to is what creates our future. Nothing else. It's not random. It's very much what we give our energy to is what we get back. And I'm not saying crap doesn't happen, Aries, okay? But there's maybe, you've got two different opposes about having to accept things you can't change and the courage to find what you can change. And maybe accepting you're not totally where you want to be. A person isn't, if there's two sevens showing up and the moon card. But you're beginning to navigate where your soul wants to go. And really what we have to do is trust the master of the ship. Yeah? And all we can really do is align our energy with that and trust and have faith and then walk forward from our heart, which is so funny because the Three of Cups, you get this quite a lot. This is about friendships. This is about sharing joy. It's also got other messages because these angels fly. And I always say they fly because they've released what was holding them down and holding them back. And because there's definitely a little bit of energy of uncertainty, that doesn't have to be a problem as long as we don't make it one. Which means you can be in a little bit of uncertainty and you can still have joy. In fact, Aries, I really suggest that you do have joy, because it's when our soul's very loosened up and very, very open is when the solutions to everything starts to come through, because we're open to receive it. And one of the ways the universe sends messages is through other people in our lives. And there's a bit of a gathering here around joy, around expression. I'm going to see if there's another message for Aries. Very interesting combination of stuff going on. I post a reading every Thursday. Okay, so a lot's going on around, this is either relationships, it's also called the Choices card, part of the Fool's journey. The Fool is where we emerge from, and it's where we're all going back to. And really, a happy life is being in the Fool all the time. So we're not carrying debt to anyone. It's living in grace, basically. The Lover's card represents a choice. So some of you might be at choice between following all the dictates of what I should do, what society is expecting me to do, or what my soul really wants me to do. It's always a huge turning point when we hit points of that in the road. It's sort of times of that, Aries, sometimes even getting a birth chart reading to see what big outer planets are going on, because the outer planets are what direct the course of our destiny. The littler planets don't do anything like that. So it's always worthwhile when you're at big life choices, if it's around career, if it's around relationships, to every year we get a new solar return for the year, and it's our birth chart. Our birth chart doesn't change, but we get a new solar return every year. It's very, very, I do loads of solar return charts, and it's worthwhile seeing what our soul is trying to do for the year. Because see, once we know that, and that's what we go for, the rest is nonsense, and we don't have to give any energy to it, Aries. Okay, so if it's something you're interested in, my email's in the about section, and we look at the whole year and what the 3 outer planets are doing and want you to be doing. It saves so much grief. Once I know those planets, I just don't bother about anything else, because it's given me the solutions to everything. Okay, Aries, loads of love. Speak to you next week. Bye.